Let's make your job easy.
The Eagles take a much-needed 4 points away from the Gold Coast Suns, who didn't go down without a fight at Optus Stadium, even kicking to within 11 points late in the final term. But ultimately, the side from the sunny coast is sent packing for their 8th straight loss to the mighty Blue and Gold on this side of the country. Welcome to this week's episode of Eagle Review, proudly sponsored by Kennards. Get down to a local store or check them out online, kennards.com.au. Ben Roberts.
Hi.
A lot of fans saw the 42-point margin at one stage, started thinking, oh, here's that much-needed percentage boost that we so desperately require.
Yep.
Didn't things turn around dramatically in the second half, I guess?
Yeah, you got to play 4 quarters of football, and the comp's so tight, and the comp is just, there's no easy games and there's no easy opponents, and you potentially take your foot off the gas for half a second, the other team gets a sniff, and they're straight back into it. And that third quarter was, the Suns were on top, there's no doubt about that. 11 consecutive inside 50s at one stage. In the third term alone, there were 5 consecutive goals either side of the third quarter break.
Well, they had superior ball control during that period. 17 West Coast marks only in quarter number 3. They held them up to that.
Well, that's right. Usually run much higher than that at the West Coast. They kick it around, as we know. So right on top and got within 11. Would have made everyone kind of nervous, I would have thought. And after the last couple of weeks, really like to get the 4 points, but they got there, they grounded out, and 4 points in the bank.
A few engine room stars. Gaffey, 35 disposals, looked polished. Sheeder, 32. Well, the one where he took on full advantage and had a shot for goal, that was classy stuff. But Elliot Yeo making the full highlight reel here with his 12 career high, 12 tackles, 28 disposals and 8 clearances.
Good, wasn't he?
Looked a contested beast on the weekend.
And a goal to finish things off as well, so he probably gets the 3 Brownlow voters for mine. He was very, very good. The midfield was actually very good. How's this? 37-2 scores from stoppages. 37-2, so 30.
For a late call-up ruckman as well in Vardy, that's an impressive stat.
Yeah, he could be delayed out with the hamstring. 37-2 from stoppages, that was very good. Turnovers was one of the other stories of the night. 7-7 to 5-6 from turnovers. The Gold Coast actually had more turnovers than West Coast, but we outscored them 7-7 to 5-6. But one thing I like, Stephen, I've talked about this before, West Coast won ground balls, contested possession and tackles. One tackles by 30. So it was a good effort, a good measure of intent at the contest, which is what they wanted to focus on, winning the ball, which they did. And they won the ground balls. It's one of those things, we don't know what's going on with ground balls, but we won the ground balls, we won the game. So we're going to look more into that for the future.
I know he's had 2 scoreless games in our previous 2 losses, but if you're having a drink at a barbecue and you got a family friend come up and he says, I want Jack Darling to spend some time in the twos. Now, what is your honest appraisal to comments like that we've heard throughout the media in the last fortnight?
I would say every other team in the AFL would say, righto, he can come play for us. He's gone. There's no more to say. He had quite a couple of games, as did a lot of other forwards. We had no inside 50s for 2 weeks. A little bit hard for the forwards to get really cranking. But he responded, and geez, in that second quarter, he kicked 3 of our 5 goals, tore the game to shreds. What about when he pushed Jared Witts out of the way?
Yeah, impressive stuff. I thought it was going to be his backup ruckman, but it was Witsy.
I know, exactly. And then probably sealed it in the end when Gaffey seared it to him, and he kicked that goal late in the piece. No, he's a gun, and he had a couple of quiet weeks, as does everyone. He kicks 40 goals every single year. He's a gun. I'll tell you who was a gun on the weekend. Gov was pretty good. 20 disposals, high again in spoils and intercepts. He was leading the game. I don't know if he did for the finish. Haven't quite checked that. Going well. 11 marks, 9 1%ers, highest for the West Coast Eagles. Gov had a good game, and Shuey also is worth mentioning, I thought, in the guts.
Let's talk about the skipper's bump on Corbett. Looked trouble from first glance, but having a look at it, hands to the ball first, bit of unfortunate timing, bit of a monster rig to run your head into as well. Feel sorry for the
fair hide to run into the big man. And no, I think going for the footy, these things happen sometimes. That'll get thrown out.
Very rare that you see the skipper in a wrestle as well. How's this little remonstration on the boundary line?
They were working on him for a little while though. The Gold Coast guys were just niggling at him for a 10-minute period there, and I think he just had enough.
Yo flying the flag for his skipper as well. Thrilled there was no free kick paid here.
Well, what about Darling's one 2 weeks ago against the Power? Tell me what's different about that one.
Well said, Benny. Didn't mind this ball from Brad Shepherd going back with the flight. Suns player in best position, not to be. 14 minutes left, 22 points. That's a big play in the book, Benny.
And that's after earlier on getting absolutely crunched going back. His kidney, I was worried about his kidneys when he was down, but...
Had some Lonergan fears, did we?
well, a little bit, but you never know. But no, he's very courageous, Shep, and one of the best for sure.
What about Liam Ryan, mate?
I've written this down. I didn't know we're up to it, so I'm reading the rundown perfectly today. Liam Ryan, what about, like, how did he kick it? Like, through about 4 people's legs, through the legs, in between 15 blokes.
Harlem Globetrotter through the legs.
Yeah, I like
Love every bit of it. What about Jetta kick up watch now? I'm a big fan of this segment of the show that I have created myself. Back to back, down the guts, hitting Venables, then pulling this one super late to Sheeta. There were a couple of standard Jetta bullets, the one to Darling in the second quarter, but do you pay this one to Luke Shuey?
No, I do not. As soon as it happened, I said that was a mistake. I think he was going for JK, I think, from memory. But he sort of skew-iffed maybe off the instep and went straight to Shuey. He'll claim it, though. But I reckon, from memory, I looked at it, no, that was a mistake, and he was shaking his head a little bit, maybe. Mistake.
When you're on, you're on. Kennard's roast of the round, stuck into it, plenty to go. Liam Ryan missing this goal, kicks then, 7 out of 10. It was goal of the night, so we're just going to drill you for missing goal of the night. Petruccelli, runner-up goal of the night. Oh, you just dropped that one. Well played. Non-controlling umpire, Benny. There's 2 of them in here. Both of them missed this one. Old mate, 50 yards away, is coming to pay it. Tell about looking after his mates.
Looking after his mates. Yards too, I like that terminology. She dropping a dolly, as we know, every time. You can't not do that. What about Liam Ryan? We've mentioned it. He'll get mentioned again later too, but what about getting hit in the back of the head with this one from Hutchie? Turn around, son. Moons talking about Petruccelli. The pronunciation here, do we need to listen to it?
We've seen this set up the last few weeks, Pav. This right up, West Coast push their forwards right up. Petruccelli out the back here. Just watch for it.
That was ordinary. Not the worst I've heard, though. Someone said to me Petruccelli once. That's very bad.
That's a shocker. Miscommunication between Darling and Jetta. That has Darling almost running away from the ball. Gold Coast go down their other end, no problem, goal. Cameraman almost getting squashed into the fence. Don't worry there, Chief. Your backpack's fine.
Didn't flinch.
Well, you're going to give him guts, are you?
Experienced. No, just mind on the job.
NFI.
Now, how's the hands from Oscar Allen? Big ups, big props for the future. Have a look. This hits the ground, boom. The vice-like grip, then shanks it. What's the point? If you're going to take the marks, you've got to finish off, old son. Liam Ryan forgot what the difference between play on and move on and ship on and something else was. Move on.
Didn't mind it.
Didn't mind it. What about Shepherd over the fence? The VIPs, we are taking the game day experience to the next level here at West Coast. The players come in and pop in and just top off your drinks as mid-game and then take one of the hors d'oeuvres, give it a taste test, say how you going, and then back into it.
A marketing dream, that one, Benny. What about if you lost a grand final off the back of a call like this? That's as soft as butter.
Still looking for why that was a free kick.
Yo, too many steps, but look at him fly. Don't mind it. Was it a critical time of the game? Oh, you bet it was. What about Corbett just having a nice little hanger-on gaff there? Let's go around the grounds very quickly to the Dockers game. We've got Chera saying, nah, Sonny, I got this. No, you definitely don't. Sonny's got to come and help you out there. Devon Smith, she's got plenty of faith in the team here. Have a look who he's tipped. He's tipped the Cats against his own side. Credit to him, though. They definitely won. Fox Sports team, the graphics department, take your medal, old son.
Humour.
Well, what is going on there? But the winner, Ben Roberts.
We're roasting one of the greats of the game. I think there should be a rule in place, whereas if you can handball the ball through the goals, the distance, if you can make it with a handball, they should ban you from ever handballing it to someone. Have a look at this. Patrick Dangerfield, well within his range. Jordan Clark tries to tell him, do not handball me the ball.
Don't be stupid,
Don't
Danger.
be ridiculous, Patrick. Handballs it, point, stuffs it, no goal. They won the game, doesn't matter. But you're better than that. And that's going to be a roast every day of the week.